My number one album of 2020 is Run the Jewels 4. If you forgot what 2020 felt like before the COVID shut us down, listen to this album. This album is marches, protests, thoughts of revolution, anarchy, all with amazing positive energy, beats, rhymes. Phenomenal album. Run the Jewels 4. Yeah, check it out. Howdy, everybody, and welcome back, or welcome for the first time. I'm Shaggy, the opinionated hippie. I'm currently ranking and reviewing every single Frank Zappa album released while he was alive. We're on number 44, Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch. She was swimming along, trying to keep a date with a merchant marine who told her he was really rich. I'm not going to sing the whole song, though I like to a lot in my spare time. This is still a really good album, man. We are 44 albums into Frank's catalog. And other than 2 songs on this album, it is a really, really good album. Problem is, there's only 6 songs on the album. So when you're talking a third of the album is something I don't ever choose to listen to, can't rank it higher than 44. Though it is still a really good album. And if you watch my top 10 song list, Drowning Witch, the song, I think was number 7 on that list. Right? I think it was number 7. Don't remember. But anyways, it's one of Frank's all-time greatest songs, in my opinion. So this is mostly the 81, 82 band. Vi, Man, Ed Man on percussion, Steve Vai, Tommy Mars, Wackerman Thunis, rhythm section. Plus you get a lot of guest stars on this. A lot of guest singers on this. Ike Willis is on it. Roy Estrada sings the song I Come From Nowhere, which is a phenomenal song. Lisa Popeil, who was on Volume 6 with Lisa's Life Story, the daughter of Ron Popeil. If you grew up in the 70s and never watched TV, you probably saw one of his available only on TV or only through the mail, whatever those things that he sold. That's his daughter. She sings Teenage Prostitute. Yeah, 6 songs. The first 2 I don't ever listen to. I usually skip and go straight to I Come From Nowhere, which is the 3rd song. But side 1 is 3 songs. It's studio. You get a song called No Not Now, which is just kind of a riff with a whole bunch of just kind of, I don't know, a lot of conceptual continuity in the song, meaning references to other Frank Zappa material. So if I ever were to do a conceptual continuity video, No Not Now would play a part in that. But it's just not very interesting. It's just kind of I don't even know how to describe it. Like, it's just it's this riff that chugs along for like 5 and almost 6 whole minutes. Doesn't really go anywhere. But apart from that, it's just not that interesting. Song after that is Valley Girl. Probably Frank's most popular song. Heck, they even made a movie with Nicolas Cage after this came out. I grew up in Southern California. Valley Girls were very much a thing, even down on the beach where I was, down in Orange County. This was real. This captured an actual slice of life. People talked like Moon Unit. If you listen to the song and you're like, what is going on? A lot of girls in my junior high talk like this in 1982. So I liked the song when I was 12, I have to admit, but since then I don't really listen to it any much. Frank has said in many an interview that if you don't like the lyrics, listen to the bass line because the bass line is killer, and it is. It's a good bass line. But again, the song, it's just kind of repetitive, goes on for a little bit too long. Not much interesting happens, though. It's a well played. Both the first 2 songs, they're Zappa songs, so the musicianship is high, but they're just not that interesting. In fact, No Not Now may be one of the most forgettable songs in the entire Frank catalog. Like I just listened to this album, and I still can't remember. I can't remember anything about it. I already forgot. But then side 1 closes with I Come From Nowhere, which is just a guitar feast. Great solo. Roy Estrada, these ridiculously sung lyrics. It's just heavy. It just hits hard. It's just a phenomenal. It sounds live, like there is energy in the song. Frank never did any of these 3 songs live. This entire side of this album was never played live. None of these songs. I Come From Nowhere would have been a great live song for the 82 band to play. But sadly, it was not. But it's a great song. Again, 6 minutes and 13 seconds of just guitar heaviness. Little weird, some weird rhythms. Apparently, the production of the solo, it's not Xenochrony. The solo doesn't come from another song and it wasn't overlaid something, but there are different parts that were kind of put together to create this really odd. It has just an odd feeling about it, but it hits hard and it's a really good song. Side 2 is live, the 81 band live, and it is great. Opens up with Drowning Witch, all 12 minutes of it. So Drowning Witch is a song that has a sort of a vocal part in the beginning where Frank does his little speak-sing thing where he kind of sings and speaks, and then there's all these kind of references and, you know, these things. Then You Can't Do That on Stage Anymore, Volume 3 version, has a little extra part where Ike Willis gets to do you won, you know, that announcer, that Price is Right announcer where he tells you the prizes that he won. They kind of added that. That's not on here, but it's still really good. And then it goes in. This song reminds me of Inca Roads. So you get like an actual, what sounds like a song with lyrics early in it. And then it goes off into these really convoluted, complex, like instrumental runs, you know, where Frank and the band show off their musical dexterity. And then that goes into a guitar solo. And then once the solo ends, you have a couple more runs. And then instead of a keyboard solo here, you have another Frank guitar solo. These guitar solos are great on this album. There are several Drowning Witch guitar solos on the guitar album. Saint Etienne, sorry if I'm mispronouncing that, on Jazz from Hell. That is a Drowning Witch guitar solo. So this song has produced some of Frank's greatest guitar playing. The first solo is a lot more of an aggressive, kind of a really kind of rhythmic, repetitive, in-your-face type solo. And then the second one is a lot slower and has more of this like 3-note vamp that just kind of, I think it's a 3-note, maybe 2-note, that's kind of a lot more of a lot more space for Frank to work in. This solo, the second solo, even though it has that vamp and another solo, Truck Driver Divorce, remind me of the Grateful Dead. Estimated Profit and Playing in the Band in particular, in which there's just a lot of space to explore. And so these are, I think, some of Frank's more like out there guitar solos, just in where he's able to go and how he's able to roam within the context of the solo. But one of the best songs ever, one of the best tracks Frank has ever released on his number 44 album, Drowning Witch. That goes into Envelopes, which is weird. This is the first in 1982, this is the first time this song was officially released. It was written in 68. We have no recordings of a 68 envelope. The 70 band did a version of it with George Duke. We finally got that on the Mother's 1970. The 78 band did it with lyrics that Tommy Mars sung. Once you hear those lyrics, you can't unhear them and the song will forever change. Don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. But then that eventually got released. London Symphony Orchestra did it. That eventually got released. But that was after this. So it's interesting that this song has been around since 68, but it wasn't until this that it was officially released for the first time. And now it's, one of many. But it's an instrumental song, one of those really kind of highly complex, convoluted instrumentals that Frank wrote a lot of in 82. It kind of is in that same sort of ballpark as Drowning Witch, Maggio, What's New in Baltimore, Sinister Footwear. They all kind of have that same angular, kind of labyrinthy type musical runs in them that are just amazing. And then it closes with Teenage Prostitute, which is about a teenage prostitute. And this is just a whole bunch of riffs and like over and over and over with Lisa Popeil singing her high soprano voice. I think it's a soprano. Don't know my names. But she's an over-the-top singer. But anyways, and this is all live stuff. So you can hear a little audience applause at the end of it. But it's a fun album, except for the first two songs. And even the first two songs are worth listening to. They're not going to hurt you. Valley Girl is obviously something that you need to hear at least once, because that is probably how Frank made his biggest mark on the world, sadly. But yeah, Ship Arriving Too Late to Save a Drowning Witch, number 44. Still a really good album. So anyways, check it out. Let me know what you think. And all right, talk to you later. Bye.